Good evening and welcome. Tonight, oh my goodness, we will be going over the history and geography of Artemisa in Cuba. Tonight, we're just going to be looking at the tablet, not because I did something like accidentally draw a line wrong on my map and then I had to erase it and then got erase marks all over the Gulf of Pantabano. Now I have to go buy a new eraser to fix my map. It's not because of anything like that. Oh no. It's because it's just a very tiny province of Cuba. Let me zoom out so I can show you. Cuba is the largest island in the Caribbean. You can see there's Florida, the Bahamas. Over here is Mexico. You can see Cancun. Haiti's just down here, which, spoiler alert, that's where we're going to go next. Hold that thought. So we're just talking about this little corner here. So we're just doing the tablet because it's very small. That's why it barely shows up on the map anyway. It's nothing too extreme. And you can see that we are just outside the capital city of Havana, which is how we say it in America. I know it's Havana. I know it's Cuba. But I'm American and we don't know how to say anything. Artemisa, for the most part, is relatively flat. You can see this region here, it gets very thick with jungle. That's because that's part of this national park. But Artemisa does have beautiful coastlines, mainly up here. Because that's the Straits of Florida, so beautiful, beautiful beaches up here. We'll take a look at that in a minute. But we also have some to the south here as well. And you can see all of these islands are also part of Artemisa province, but from what I can tell, it's just mangroves. So they're probably reserves, right? It's not meant for people to live on these islands, probably because they're all marshy and wet. Not a great place to set up your home. So, let me check my notes real quick. What else? Oh, I had to talk about the farmland. This is an agricultural province. The main thing that they grow here is coffee, but there's also lots of fruits, lots of tobacco, which is very characteristic for Cuba. They call this area the Jardín de Cuba, the Garden of Cuba. It's its nickname. Also, apparently, there's a big cement industry here in Artemisa. But, yeah. Not quite garden-like, is it? I think that's all I had to say about geography, to be honest. Like I said, it's very tiny, which is definitely why we're only looking at the tablet. And it's farmland and coastline, which is not a terrible thing at all. It's very nice. Cuba's very, very pleasant geography-wise. There's something for everyone here. Cuba has everything geography-wise. But let's talk about the history of how this region came to be, because Cuba's history goes way back to ancient indigenous population. It goes back to Christopher Columbus and Spanish colonialism. But this area took a while to be developed. Mainly places like, San Cristobal were missionary towns. And pretty much, from what I could tell from research, any place that sounds like religious-y, like San Antonio de los Baños, El Frances, right, were established as little mission centers out in this farmland. No real big population centers here in this area until the early 1800s, when the town of Artemisa, you can see here, was actually founded, which it was mainly created because there was a fire in Havana and many people were displaced. So they founded this town to put people there. It's a safe place to live. And the area kind of sprung up around that. This area was very active during Cuba's War for Independence from 1895 to 1898, and also during Castro's revolution in the 1950s. During both of those times, we had a few heroes come out of the region, and they are known as the Artemiseño martyrs. And when we go to Artemisa, there's a beautiful little park here with a memorial to them, but I have to remember where it is. Here it is, right? The Martires de Artemisa. There we go. And there we can see from both conflicts people who gave their lives for the cause of a free Cuba one way or another, right? Either free from Spanish control or free from a corrupt government. And I think that's pretty much it for the history, to be honest. The only really modern thing that I read that's happened since, the 1950s, 1960s was a big push in ecotourism in the area here. Lots of self-sustained little hotels and resorts, I assume out here in the more wildernessy area, right? And just creating little havens for the many tourists who come to Cuba to enjoy the amazing scenery of this island. Gives it more of a, much more rural perspective. Let's check out, I don't think I even looked at the slideshow for this national park. Let's see, that's beautiful. As you can see on the map, it's mainly not in Artemisa, but it does overflow, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. Cuba is a very special island. There's gorgeous caves here. I know in many of the caves, I know mainly in the Vinales Valley, was where some of the very earliest indigenous inhabitants of Cuba lived, inside the caves. Isn't this lovely? This would be a fun place to explore on a hiking trip with it. Beautiful birds. That is, I know the name of this bird, but I've forgotten it. It starts with a T. I've forgotten. Lots of little songbirds here. Look how beautiful this is. Wow, it's almost like Frank Lloyd Wright-esque almost. Look at the farmland here, all plowed, ready to go. The beautiful forest in the background. Cuba takes their national parks very seriously because most of the land, when it was under the control of the Spanish, was plowed over for agriculture. So the regions that are still pristine and whole are very, very specially taken care of. Let's check out the beaches. I'm going to put down my pencil. We don't need that anymore. If I recall, there were beaches up here we can explore. Little planned towns happening there along the coast. I could have sworn there's an Antonio Maceo Park, another hero from the Independence War. But pretty much everywhere in Cuba is named after heroes from wars and martyrs, and Jose Marti mainly. I thought there were beaches up here. There's gotta be, come on. Don't let me down, Google Earth. I know there's beaches up here we can explore. I could have sworn. Cuba, don't let me down. Maybe over here. To make sure that I'm still in the right district, I'm not heading over into Havana. Playa Barbacoa, now that's my place to go. I'm down for some barbacoa, which means barbecue, by the way. Look at this big lagoon here, that's lovely. Well, maybe we have to do this the hard way. Let me pull up some spots to see. I want to see a coastal one. Some beautiful playas. I could have sworn I was looking at beautiful beaches over here. And now they're not popping up. Either I'm in the wrong spot, which is probably what's happening, or they're just not popping up. That's disappointing. Well, take my word for it. You can see them from above. Lovely little sandy areas. Maybe over here. Let me make sure that this is still... Oops, let me turn that off. We're still in Artemisa. Let's see what this says. Nope, we are not. Anyway, take my word for it. Let's look in the south. This is not going as planned. Let's see now. Let's see this. This town has beach in its name. We want to see the Cuban beaches. But I always figured, like, this south area of Cuba is not as beachy, you know, as, like, other parts of Cuba down there. Much more beachy in the south than up here. Okay, well, you know what beaches look like. Let's check out San Cristobal, because I believe this is the oldest oldest settlement in Artemisa. So you can see there's Jose Marti there. And Jose Marti, big hero in Cuba. If you think they love Fidel, that's nothing compared to Jose Marti. Big, beautiful church here. Very, very forested. I imagine it's very humid here too, it being the Caribbean. It's very ominous at night. But yeah, this was originally just a little church settlement where all the farmers in the area could come to church on Sundays, and the town sprung up around it. Very kind of creepy at night, but most places are. Looks like it's a celebration or maybe a market over there. Yeah, this church does not look like, you know, like a 16th, 17th century Spanish church. That looks like a 15th century Spanish church. That's a pretty old building. But they're just building with what they got. There's a Jose Marti town. I found another town called Abraham Lincoln. There it is. If you didn't believe me, there's Abraham Lincoln town. But that's Cuba for you. They love their forward-thinking heroes, right? Even apparently if they're American. To an extent, of course. And there's Taco Taco. I don't think I already checked out this place. There's nothing to see here, sadly, but I definitely want to visit Taco Taco. My goodness. But yeah, I just want to see a beach. I feel like I was looking at beaches before. There's Playa. Where did I just like hallucinate these beaches? Anyway, you just have to take my word for it. Look how beautiful this water is too. It looks absolutely gorgeous. I would love to show you in more detail, but apparently we're not. Okay then. There, oh, to make sure I'm in the right spots. No, maybe this is what I saw. No street view available. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. Oh, we're going in. We're going in. We're gonna see something. It's not a beach, it's a church. This is not a beach. This is a Catholic church. But it is very lovely, isn't it? I always love how ornate Catholic churches are. Even little tiny ones like this. No, it's all blurry right now. Very extreme details. Their big altar spaces are always nice. That's not what I wanted to see. Wait. What's this? It looks like a school. Central Park? No. Oh, wait, I see. There's a park on the water. Come on. Beach, 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 beach. You're killing me, Cuba. Alright. I have no idea if there's any Cuban viewers out there, but if there are, it's all your job now to head over to Artemisa province. Give me some pictures of the beaches. This looks much better, even though that's more of a pier. Not as exciting. I've been let down. Maybe I just hallucinated beaches. No pictures. Well, darn. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what I had seen before. I could have sworn. Nevertheless, I think I'm just going to end this here before it becomes more chaotic. Do you think there's any? There isn't. But imagine if there were street views of the islands down here. Sorry it's so bright and blue. But there obviously isn't because it's a bunch of nothing. Let's see what's happening here at San Antonio de los Baños. And we'll close out the video here with whatever this is going to be. I hope it's appropriate. Hope there isn't like naked people in it. YouTube won't like that. It looks like you're on a rooftop. A very colorful town, of course. We are on this person's roof. Look at the beautiful sky. Well, that wasn't exciting. Their water tank. Sorry for my tummy. Well, I could have sworn. Let's look at this. Ojo de agua. I was going to say it's like means eyes of the water. It's very bright blue, like some beautiful blue eyes, right? That's neat. Let's close it out here. This is very pretty. Even though it's not a beach. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this style of content, please consider subscribing. And like I said, next we're going to be hopping over the water, over to Haiti. Oh, look at this cool cave. Lots of history in that area of Haiti that we're going to. What a sweet dog. So, be sure to subscribe so you won't miss out. I do hope at least that you found this video to be relaxing and educational. And I hope that you have a good night. Yep, there we go. Good night.